As we continue to track the colder air that's going to be moving in, heading into the overnight hours. We're going to watch all of this really as the cold front moves through. The rain's ending, but temperatures actually back below freezing as we head into tomorrow morning. Now, for today, we did top out at 65 degrees. It's probably before you woke up while the storms were rolling on through. And then so far today, our low is 49. I say that because that's where we're at right now, and we're going to continue to watch that drop as we head into the evening hours. So it's going to be one of those situations where the low today is going to be right as we head into the midnight hour. Now, granted, that's actually both of those numbers pretty close to average for this time of year. So it is something that we're going to continue to watch, and then still another cool one for tomorrow. Meanwhile, we do have temperatures. Now, there we go. New update, 46. So that's our new low today. Beautiful out there, though, with the clouds slowly trying to move on out along with the rain. And then so far, 24-hour rainfall total. Most of this obviously from this morning, looking at just over an inch. And it's still quite breezy out there with winds back out of the west at 15 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at your first alert radar, you can see a few isolated showers. We did have that slightly heavier line move through earlier. That's what brought wind gusts near 47 miles an hour to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Now, though, wind gusts a little bit lower, but it is still quite breezy, and we expect that breezy condition to continue into the overnight hours and then also back into tomorrow. So temperature-wise right now, cooler air continues to stream into North Georgia. We're at 46 in Atlanta and Covington. Same for folks down into Thomaston, but Carrollton already 42, 45 in Rome, 42 in Canton, 44 in Gainesville and Helen, and 38 in Allijay. The colder air sliding in from the west. So folks out in Carroll, Hurd, Harrelson, Paulding, Douglas counties will see the cooler air before we see it into the city proper and then over to the east side of town. Either way, though, much cooler than what we saw this time yesterday. And that's when we were having the winds pick up, obviously, but it was still quite warm. The front hadn't moved through yet. So for right now, most of North Georgia, 20 to 25 degrees colder right now than they were this time yesterday. And, you know, it's also just kind of an indicator to show you just how powerful that cold front really was. Meanwhile, as we take a look, pollen count has also kind of risen a little bit. We're noticing that we're back into the high category. Trees are high. But the other thing is mold. It's now at moderate. So those of you who are a little bit more sensitive to mold spores. I know that is a large group of people out there. You're probably feeling a little more, and you will as we go through the next day or so because of all the rain that we had push on through. In fact, we do expect as we head in through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we expect that pollen count to remain high. So allergy sufferers, unfortunately, you know how it is this time of year. So this really isn't catching you off guard. It's just not the best thing out there for you. Now, temperatures as we head into the overnight, we're going to be looking at basically the mid-30s inside the perimeter. We'll be seeing those temperatures drop with wind chills in the teens and 20s across North Georgia. More on that in just a moment. But, you know, temperatures overall, we do expect below freezing, especially for our northern and western counties. So people out in Carrollton, up into the Canton, Kennesaw area, Allijay, Blairsville, you know, you're expecting those temperatures below freezing as we head into the overnight hours. And take a look at these feels like temperatures. So this is your wind chill as we head into the morning hours. Notice by the time we get to about 7 a.m., feeling like 17 in Blairsville, 20 in Marietta, 21 in Atlanta, 20 in Carrollton. So that wind is making a huge difference as you walk out the door. You definitely want to bundle up. It's been a few days since we've seen temperatures and the feels like this cold in the morning. Now, by the afternoon, the good news is we do get warm enough that the feels like temperature really doesn't play a factor when you factor in the wind, but still, it's not going to be pleasant out there. In fact, winds by tomorrow afternoon still gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour across North Georgia and even higher in the North Georgia mountains. That elevation playing a huge factor with wind gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour possible as we head early tomorrow. And then thankfully by the evening hours, we slowly start to really drop those winds. And I think by Thursday evening, and definitely by Thursday night, we kind of return more a clear weather pattern into the evening hours. So here's the big story. So this is what's been going on. That low pressure system up into the Great Lakes, yeah, it's definitely doing its thing. It's a very strong low pressure system. That's why the winds have been so strong around it. But the cold front itself has pushed on through. Notice there are a little bit of green and a little bit of blue spots here. So light showers, light flurries, maybe even some snow showers in the North Georgia mountains are going to be possible as we head into the evening hours. Tonight, the winds, as we just talked about, they're going to continue as well, and those temperatures are dropping. So another cold night ahead with 20s and 30s across the state. But look what happens as we go into the late week, early part of the weekend. We get another high pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. We've seen it several times over the past month or so. When we get these high pressures, we could see or I'm sorry, we will see warmer air being pulled up out of the Gulf and into the southeast. That's one of the reasons we are expecting to see 70s as we get into your Saturday afternoon. I do want to point out, though, look at all this back here. Nope, you can't see my mouse. I'm trying to show you something. But if you look back into Texas, you're going to notice, there we go, a lot more blue on the map. This is our next front starting to get its act together by the time we get into Saturday. And we will start to feel the effects of that as we get into the, well, back half of your weekend and into early next week. As for tomorrow, though, not a big deal. We're going to be looking at 56 degrees out there. In fact, most of North Georgia is going to be looking at those temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Obviously, a little cooler with the North Georgia mountains. They're going to be looking at those temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. And then as we get into your Friday, yeah, there we go. Back up near 70 degrees. In fact, even the North Georgia mountains are going to be looking at the 60s. We will see the increasing clouds, though, for your Friday in advance of that cold front I kind of showed you on that last map there. Now, that's going to arrive as we head into Saturday. So 2 things for Saturday. You're going to notice increasing clouds throughout the day in advance of that chance of rain late in the evening, but really more towards Sunday. But also, don't forget, this weekend is the time change. So it's daylight saving time. It's going into effect. You'll put those clocks forward an hour. Honestly, I know most of us have our devices that are all automated, but for certain things like maybe the stove or the microwave or the coffee pot, you might have to do it yourself. So you're going to spring it forward 1 hour, and the worst part of that is we do lose the hour of sleep. Now, as we take a look a little bit more in depth into your weekend forecast, notice by Saturday evening, maybe a stray shower or 2. I think the better chance of rain is going to come early on Sunday. Would not be surprised if we wake up with scattered showers across the region for your Sunday services or any other Sunday activities that you have. And then as we make our way into the afternoon, just still isolated showers. So the good news is this isn't like a huge shield of rain that's going to be moving through, just absolutely ruining your Sunday, but it will be scattered in nature and could become a nuisance for any outdoor plans. And notice by 11 p.m., we still have the chance of showers continuing on into the evening hours. And that's why we have that 20% chance of rain there on Monday morning. Now, you'll notice as that front moves through, temperatures back into the 30s and 40s as we get into Monday morning. And then, thankfully, not as strong of a cold front. So we're only going to see our temperatures drop to about 65 as we head into Monday. But then Tuesday and Wednesday next week are looking absolutely gorgeous. We're talking temperatures into the low to mid 70s. Plenty of sunshine. So that's a great way to kind of go into the middle of next week. Looking at some of the questions on, unfortunately, some of y'all did have power outages, so I do feel with you on that one. We had ours go out this morning. Hopefully most of y'all have gotten those back. We have seen remarkable improvement in power outages across our area. And then we do have one other question that's asking, hey, when could we see severe weather again? Well, the good news is you see on your First Alert 7-day forecast here, we don't have a lot of opportunities for rain over the next 7 days. Looking into the extended forecast, the next more robust cold front we have would come towards the end of not this week, but next week. So, around the 10-day mark. Still way too early to tell for the severe potential with that one, but it does look like it could have the potential to be a little bit more robust. And we are obviously in that time of year where we are going to get some more stronger cold fronts that are going to be rolling through the area. And that's what's going to help, kind of trigger that. It's really that difference between the strong cold air masses coming out of Canada and the warm air masses coming up from the Gulf this time of year that kind of helps to keep all of that going. So overall, it looks like a pretty good weather pattern for us as we go through the next several days. Obviously, it's going to be windy as we go in through your Thursday. Thankfully, by Friday, we're warming things up and we're drying things out and we're calming the winds. And Saturday, for the most part, looks absolutely amazing. Temperatures back up into the 70s. Mostly cloudy skies, unfortunately, and then that chance of rain during the evening. And then next week is looking very well. So that is your forecast update as we go into the next several days. Any questions, just put them on. We'll answer them for you. And other than that, we look forward to seeing you here on Peachtree TV at 10. ANF at 11, and then obviously we'll be streaming again as we get into tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful evening.